What's going on everyone, and welcome to the channel. My name's Jack and I'm here to give you 100% confidence in the kitchen, and together we can learn and create the most fantastic and delicious foods. If you're new to the channel, I'm a chef by trade and my whole purpose is to teach you absolutely everything I know. So in this one, we're going to be creating the most fragrant, rich and extremely delicious creamy Thai coconut soup. Please sit back, relax and enjoy. Alright guys, let's start this off with 20 individual prawns that weigh a total of 1 kilo or 2.2 pounds. And don't worry if you don't like prawns, this recipe is fantastic with chicken or vegetables. The first thing we're going to do is remove the shell from the prawn by gently removing the head first by pulling it down. Then with the body of the prawn, you'll notice that the shell is in segments. We then want to peel each segment up towards the top of the body, then fold the segments over the top of the body and pull the shell down, removing the whole piece at once. And in doing this will remove the legs too. You'll then be left with the tail still intact, which you can choose to remove if you want to, but it does look good for presentation. Then with the shells, don't throw them away, they can be used to create the most fantastic bisques, soups and stocks. Now the next thing we're going to do to the prawns is devein and butterfly them by running a sharp knife 3/4 of the way through the back, starting at the tail and finishing at the head. We can then gently open up the prawn and run your finger through it to remove the vein, which isn't actually a vein, it's actually the prawn's digestive tract, but this process is called deveining. Anyway, if you're gentle, it should come out in one piece, which we can then discard. Once that's done, what you should have is some nice, clean and ready to be cooked prawns. What I will quickly say is traditionally prawns would be butterflied on the belly side and not the back to prevent them from curling, but for this recipe we do want them to curl so they're easier to eat. Now to prepare the rest of this recipe, we're going to need a 2-inch piece of fresh ginger that weighs 50 grams, and what we want to do is peel off the skin. I find that using a spoon to peel ginger is the most effective way to reduce wastage, as I find a regular peeler or a knife removes too much flesh. And with the skin that we're removing, we can place it into a compost bin. Once the ginger's been peeled, grab yourself 6 cloves of freshly peeled garlic, as well as a 4-inch piece or 1 root of fresh lemongrass. And what we want to do is run all 3 of them on a fine microplane or grater until they resemble a paste, which is also known as minced. With the lemongrass, it may be slightly drier and a bit more tough to grate than the ginger and garlic, but with a little bit of elbow grease, you'll definitely get the job done. Once you've done all that, make sure to scrape out any bits that may be stuck, just to avoid any wastage. Now to piece this all together, place a large heavy base pot onto your stovetop over a high heat, and once hot, pour in 2 tablespoons or 10 milliliters of olive oil. Chuck in the 1 kilo or 2.2 pounds worth of prawns that we prepared before, or chicken if you're using that instead, and spread the prawns out evenly across the bottom of the pot, just so they're not on top of one another, and sear these for 45 seconds. After 45 seconds and the prawns have a nice golden sear on them, we're going to flip them over and repeat the process, searing the opposite side for 45 seconds. In doing this, they won't be fully cooked through, but searing them off prior to adding in the rest of the ingredients creates additional flavour as well as texture. After 45 seconds on both sides and they're nice and golden brown, we can then remove these from the pot and place them into a bowl or plate to rest. Now to the same pot, turn it down to a medium heat and add in the garlic paste or minced garlic, the ginger paste or minced ginger, making sure to scrape out the bowl as it may get stuck in there, and the finely grated lemongrass. Fry this off for 20 seconds, stirring it the whole time, and this is going to release the aromatics, bringing out the most amazing flavour. After 20 seconds, chuck in 2 tablespoons or 25 grams of brown sugar, as well as 3 tablespoons or 45 milliliters of fish sauce. Give that a really good mix for 30 seconds, just until it's deeply golden brown, and what the brown sugar and fish sauce will do is create a fantastic rich caramel, which will give our soup the best possible flavour. Once that's done, add in 2.5 teaspoons or 7 grams of curry powder for an earthy, sweet and slightly spicy flavour, 3 teaspoons or 6 grams of ground coriander seed for a robust floral and citrusy flavour, and in this one's optional, but 1.5 tablespoons or 30 grams of sambal oelek, which is a chili paste, and it's not only going to add spice, but it's also going to release a great colour into the soup. Once that's all in, continue mixing this around continuously for 20 seconds for those flavours to become friends. Also, when you get to this stage, your kitchen will smell absolutely amazing. After 20 seconds, we then want to pour in 4 cups or 1 litre of vegetable or chicken stock, which is going to be one part of the base to this soup, as well as 2 cans or 800 milliliters of coconut milk, which is the second part to the base and will make our soup floral in flavour and nice and creamy. Give this a mix just to combine those flavours, then give it a quick taste to check the seasoning and adjust if necessary. I'm personally going to add in 1 teaspoon of sea salt flakes, but you may want to add more or none at all, depending on your taste buds. Anyway, once seasoned, give it another quick mix, increase the heat to high, and bring this to a boil. Once boiling, give it another mix to get those flavours moving, then reduce the heat to low and allow this to simmer away for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes of simmering, we then want to microplane or grate in the zest of 1 whole lime, which will add the most fantastic citrusy background note to our soup. making sure to scrape in any zest that may be stuck. To this, we can then add in our seared prawns as well as any juices that may be in the bowl or on the plate. Give the soup a gentle mix to bring all of those flavours together and continue simmering this for a further 2 minutes just for those prawns to cook through. Then once that's done, we can turn this off the heat and remove it from the stovetop. Now to serve this up, place 150 grams of fresh egg noodles into a bowl. We can then pour over that deliciously creamy, rich and floral soup. Gently place in the perfectly cooked prawns. Top it off with a good handful of fresh mung bean sprouts, 5 to 6 stalks of fresh coriander or cilantro, 5 to 6 leaves of fresh mint, a nice sprinkle of freshly sliced red chilli, which is optional. Then squeeze over a wedge of fresh lime for a great citrusy kick, and we can then dig in. The flavour on that is absolutely incredible. You can really taste every single ingredient and they all partner so well with one another. It's rich, creamy and fragrant, with it being slightly sweet, slightly salty and slightly spicy. This recipe here serves 4 and it can easily be doubled, tripled and so on. To store it, simply place it in the fridge for up to 4 days, or you can place it in the freezer in an airtight container for up to 4 months. To reheat it, chuck it in a pan over a medium heat and bring it up to temperature until it's nice and hot. I really hope you enjoyed this video and I was able to teach you something. If you did, be sure to smash that like button and consider subscribing to see hundreds of more fantastic recipes. Thanks for watching guys, stay safe and enjoy.